Well, that's disappointing. I just realized that yeah, I was live, but it wasn't showing up on my screen. Oh, let me, let me take care of something real quick. Uh, Maintenance. There we go. All right, I'm live. Excellent. Sure. Here. All right. Get my AC to aim toward my way. All right. Get comfortable. All right, guys. So, in case you have already saw the title of this video, this is a world building experiment where my friend, it, bleh, where my friend and I are in ancient Greece. And my controller fell. We arrived in ancient Greece on a mountaintop through a temporal rift portal that I've created myself. All right. Skip. All right. Jordan looks around the Greek mountain trail. Listening to the sound of the stream, he sets his axe down near a rock. The location checks out, Jordan says, his deep voice calm. We have water and cover. Let's finish securing the perimeter before dark. I actually did not give Jordan that dialogue, guys. That was actually the AI's dialogue, but I actually did give Jordan a lot of custom dialogue in here. Inside the tent, we actually have a water pitcher with powerful rare earth magnets attached to it. I get the pitcher and fill it up. And Jordan says, it's good that we don't have to walk too far to get water. I said, yeah, I think it's like 20 or so meters from our camp. I don't know. Not getting a ruler out. You step out into the climate-controlled tent, into the crisp mountain air. The gray light jacket and track pants keep you comfortable navigating as you navigate the rocky path. Your steel-toed shoes grip the uneven terrain well. The weight of the magnetic pitcher is solid in your black and gray gloved hand. The only reason why my gloves are black and gray is because in real life my gloves are not gray. I wish I had gray colored gloves. I had gray colored gloves a long time ago, but they kind of disintegrated over time. Let's see. As the pitcher is filling, you notice the strange reflection in the water. A few meters upstream, I might be getting hiccups. The current is swirling around unnaturally around a cluster of smooth carved stones. They look distinctively man-made, unlike the rest of the mountain wild rocks. Jordan calls out from the camp in his deep voice, "Everything clear down there?" I ignored the stones and said, "Yeah, everything is fine." High above the cloud-veiled peaks of Mount Olympus, the gods gather around a shimmering pool of divine light. Your sudden arrival through the temporal rift did not go unnoticed. They looked down on your dull gray photovoltaic tent in the matte black samurai armor of Jordan with deep suspicion and intense curiosity. Zeus, the king of the gods. These are all ordinary mortals. They command structures of slate gray stone that do not burn. And their clothes, they clothe themselves in metals smoother than the finest black smelting of Hephaestus. Watch them closely. They carry weapons of strange design. If they dare challenge the order of this world, my lightning will reduce their great sanctuary to ash. Athena! Observe the smaller one in gray. His mind is like a calculated lettuce. He measures the world in numbers, but carries a heavy well of emotion. He rejected the carved stones because his focus was locked on survival. They possess a weapon that launches bolts with incredible speed with a crank mechanism. They are analytical and pragmatic. Do not strike blindly, father. They are dangerous because they think before they fight. Hephaestus. Look at the Dark Warrior's axe and the Grey One's mace. That's metal. It is denser than iron, heavier than bronze. It sits at the core of the earth, yet they have forged it into flawless geometry. And their armor! The joints are soft like cloth, yet they harden like diamonds upon impact. I must know the secrets of these modern composites. Artemis, goddess of the hunt. They have set their camp up near my wild streams. The Grey One fills a vessel that alters the invisible forces of the earth with its iron stones. They disturb the natural order. If their crossbows strike my beasts, I will hunt them myself. Back at the stream, I already regret having the AC face me. Back at the stream, the air grows heavy and the sudden unnatural wind rushes down the mountain slopes. I walked back to the camp and said, "Got our water," until I made another trip until I have to make another trip in a couple hours. Before letting out a soft giggle. Jordan was already looking around for anything that could be dangerous. Jordan said, "Hey, it's almost dinner time." I checked the time and it's 4:37 p.m. Jordan and I, oh yeah, Jordan and I put small pizzas in the oven. Jordan's pizza is pepperoni and cheese, and my pizza is pineapple with anchovies with mushrooms. Jordan sarcastically said, "You just had to bring the anchovy ones, didn't you?" I said, "I love anchovies and pineapple. It's blasphemous. It's blasphemy." Before I let out another soft giggle. Before he lets out a giggle and then I giggle on my own. The AI literally said, "I've made note of your personal pizza preferences." The aroma of baking dough and melting cheese quickly fills the high-tech tent, blending with the cool air conditioning. Outside, the Greek mountain twilight is beginning to settle. But inside, the atmosphere is warm and lighthearted after your shared laugh. Jordan grabs 2 plates from the supplies and sets them on a microplate floor, which hums faintly as it handles the power load from the oven. As you eat, your smartphone resting on the table next to the magnetic water pitcher. I would not put my phone near a magnet, guys. Just saying that. Suddenly flashes a bright amber alert. The environmental sensors you configured are picking up a massive spike in atmospheric pressure in those. I don't remember doing that, but okay. And static electricity directly above the camp. There are no storm clouds in the sky, yet the air outside is crackling with energy. Above the crackling mountain peaks, the shimmering pool of divine sight reflects the interior of your high-tech tent. The smell of rising dough and cooking fish somehow drifts up to the heavens, leaving the dwellers of Mount Olympus thoroughly bewildered. Zeus. They look upon the eve of destruction, yet they consume flatbread adorned with the salted beasts of the sea and the spiked fruit of distant lands. They mock us with their leisure. The smaller one giggles. In the face of my gathering storm, is it confidence or madness? I have raised the static pressure above their fabric fortress. Let us see if they're. Oh yeah, let's see if the winter in their tent can handle this, the way of the heavens. It is neither madness or mockery, Father. Oh yeah, this part's Athena, guys. It's neither madness or mockery. It is a ritual of bonding. The pragmatic warrior challenges the analytical one's choices, yet they share amusement. They are tightening their psychological shield before a conflict. Look at the smaller one's face. It is soft, and his voice carries a gentle cadence, but do not mistake his demeanor for weakness. His mind processes the world through a precise grid. He tracks the time down to the exact minute. He is completely aware of his surroundings. Hephaestus, a box that creates perfect heat without wood or coal, and they call it an oven. And that music, it flows from a small black brick with no musicians inside. They carry the power of Apollo's lyre and my forge in the palms of their hands. Though I must agree with the dark warrior Jordan, fish and sweet fruit upon bread? Truly, the Grey One's mind conceives recipes that would make even the monsters of Tartarus weep. Artemis. They sit on glowing floor plates while the wild world outside prepares to reclaim its territory. They have ignored my carved stones by the stream. If they will not acknowledge the sacred land, the mountain will force them to. Alright. Let's see. You step outside. Alright, after dinner, you step outside the cooling mountain air, the gray light jacket keeping the chill off. The heavy tungsten alloy flange mace feels incredibly solid and well balanced in your hands. You swing it in a controlled arcs throughout the twilight with its matte gray metal finish cutting through the air with a distinct, satisfying sound. Whoosh, 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 you say, followed by a soft giggle. Jordan walks out the dull gray tent, stretching his arms with his simple shirt and shorts. He watches your rhythmic swings for a moment with a relaxed smile on his mature face. You like the sound it makes, I'm guessing. His deep voice rumbles. Yes. Before letting out another giggle. The sound of tungsten. The dense, heavy head of your mace makes a uniquely low, clean whistle with every swing perfectly cleaving the air. Without the weight of your composite armor on, your movements are light and the soft mountain breeze feels nice against your permanent headband. Jordan's watchful eye. Even though he is relaxing in his sandals, Jordan's pragmatic gaze will occasionally drifts up to the darkening mountain ridges. The sky deepens. As you stop swinging, an unnatural static crackle in the air. The one your phone warned you about intensifies. High above you, the clouds are swirling in an impossible pattern, glowing with a faint, eerie blue light that has nothing to do with the normal sunset. The gods are definitely still watching. Your analytical eyes catch the sudden movement in the high mountain pass. You pivot quickly, spotting an unmistakable silhouette of a centaur standing on the rocky ridge. He is a scout, his chest heaving silently as his sharp eyes lock onto your camp. Jordan, we got company, you say, your voice ring in an emotional response as you point toward the ridge. We should go inside the tent. Now. Jordan's pragmatic gaze snaps into the ridge. Seeing the mythological creature, he nods instantly. The two of you retreat through the tent's secure flap, sealing the crisp mountain air. Skip. Inside the climate-controlled safety of your tent, the vault stands ready. Outside, the Centaur scout is likely alerting others or preparing to descend toward the strange high-tech structure by the stream. You are both completely unarmored, wearing only your camp clothes and sandals. The Centaur has approached us, and he blew his horn. The deep, booming echo of a horn blast shatters the mountain silence. Of course, you muttered, your emotional response spiking as you and Jordan rush to the vault. The clinking of modern composite materials fills the tent as you strap on the flat matte gray 15th century plate armor. The space-age joint material flexes smoothly against your track pants. Jordan secures his matte black and red samurai gear, slipping his feet out of the sandals and into his tactical leg armor. Why did you pick the mountain spot as our spot again? Wait, why did you pick the mountain as our spot again? Jordan asks pragmatically, adjusting his chest plate. I don't know. Maybe because of the view, you reply. You slide your matte gray helmet over your permanent headband, then carefully fit your Upper Michigan leather hat over the top of the helm. Both of you grab your modern scoped crossbows, engage the fast crank systems with a satisfying click, and step out of the fading twilight. 5 centaurs stand on a rocky road, about 40 meters away. Their muscular horse bodies are tense, and their human torsos are angled forward, bows drawn tight. Your crossbow is loaded with heavy tungsten alloy-tipped evisceration broadheads. Yes, I'm going with maximum carnage with this shit, guys. Your soft face is hidden behind a visor. but your breathing is fast. Jordan stands broad-shouldered beside you, his axe hanging at his hip. His shield is ready. The centaurs hold their fire for a split second, clearly startled by the sight of a flat matte gray knight in leather hat and a black and red high-tech samurai. Okay, it's not that high-tech. The black and red samurai emerging from the glowing gray tent. One of the larger creatures steps forward, raising his bow even higher. The divine pool on Mount Olympus ripples with intense excitement as the gods lean in close. The image of a flat gray 15th century knight wearing an Upper Michigan leather hat over his helmet, standing alongside a matte black and red samurai is a spectacle the heavens have never witnessed. Zeus, the horn of the wilderness has sounded. My centaur children challenge the strangers. Let us see how their smooth, unnatural garments hold up against the piercing arrows of the wild. The smaller one. He covers his iron head with the skin of a beast from a world yet unborn. He answers with humor in the face of death. His spirit is unpredictable. God, so stupid, guys. Oh, let's hear what Athena has to say. Look at the positioning, Father. They did not panic. They used the shelter of the great tent to don their armor, and now they emerge with those mechanical bows already cranked and loaded. The centaurs are making a grave error by hesitating. The strangers possess scopes that magnify their vision. They are analyzing the ridge. If the centaurs release their arrows, the retaliation will be instantaneous and devastating. Hephaestus, the Grey One's armor! Look at the joints as he raises his weapon. They flow like oil, yet I know how they will turn into mountain rock the moment an arrow strikes them. It is a masterpiece of craftsmanship. I would trade 100 bronze shields to hold that fast crank bow. The Dark One's arrows are tipped with wide jagged barbs of tungsten alloy. They would not likely know what the materials are, guys. If those strike, they will tear through muscle and bone alike. The centaurs have no idea what manner of metal awaits them. Here's what Artemis has to say. My hunters are merely defending their territory from these metal intruders. But I see the tension in the smaller one's stance. His emotions run hot beneath that flat gray visor. If he panics and fires, my centaurs will tear them apart. Down in the valley, the lead centaur's bowstring groans as he pulls back on his absolute limit, his eyes fitting between you and Jordan. The divine pool on Mount Olympus suddenly erupts into shouting as three more gods crowd around the water, eager to join in the argument. Ares, the god of war. Finally! A proper clash. Forget Athena's boring calculations. Look at that gray mace. The head is pure. Okay, they would not know what tungsten is, guys. That thing will shatter a centaur's ribs like dried twigs. I want to see them paint the mountain pass red. But what is that on his head? A leather hat over a knight's helm? Is this a warrior or a court jester? No matter. He has a fast crank crossbow and a heart full of rising emotion. When the first arrow flies, he will fight like a demon. Hera. They dare invade our sacred lands without making a single sacrifice or offering. They cook their strange flat breads with pungent sea creatures and sweet fruits, yet completely ignoring my altars. They show no respect for the divine order. Look how they bicker like an old married couple about pizzas and camp views. I want them crushed. Let the centaurs trample their glowing gray tent into the dirt. Aphrodite. Oh, hush, Hera. Look at the smaller one in gray. Beneath that, I already regret putting Aphrodite in this thought experiment, guys. You will find out why. He has such a soft face and a gentle voice. Do you hear his sweet little giggles earlier? He is absolutely... I really regret putting her in here. The aesthetic, though I must admit, the leather hat over the helmet is a tragic fashion disaster, and the pizza combination is a crime against beauty. But his fashion and his deep emotional nature intrigue me. Do not hurt him, Artemis. I want to see how he handles himself under pressure. Down on the mountain trail, the lead centaur's arm begins to tremble slightly from the heavy tension from his drawn bowstring. One of the centaurs is a large, dark-skinned centaur named Brack. He has a massive bow that was stolen from a cyclops and fires pure iron-tipped arrows. Brack's bow is made from a sacred yew tree. The lead centaur steps forward, his massive horse hooves crushing the mountain gravel. This is Brack. His dark skin glistens with sweat under the eerie blue sky, and his muscular human torso is broader than two men. In his grip is a colossal bow made from the wood of a sacred yew tree. He points the weapon, stolen from a fallen cyclops, directly at you and Jordan. The arrow notched in the string is massive, tipped with a heavy lump of pure, unrefined iron. Well, actually, it would be a refined iron broadhead. I mean, let's see. Brack's weapon is a sacred yew bow that hums with a deep, magical vibration. The pure iron tip of his arrow is designed to pierce the thickest bronze shields of antiquity. Up on Mount Olympus, the gods lean in even closer. Ares lets out a loud cheer at the sight of Brack's stolen Cyclops bow. Aphrodite gasps. Of course she does. Worried for your soft face beneath the visor, Athena watches your analytical mind, waiting to see how you calculate the trajectory of an arrow that large. Brack barks an order in a harsh, ancient dialect. The other centaurs tighten their grips on their standard bows. He is about to loose an iron-tipped arrow. Alright, hang on a second, guys. The centaurs are firing their arrows at us, and I said, return fire. The mountain pass erupts into pure chaos as the volley of arrows cuts through the air. You and Jordan squeeze your triggers simultaneously. The fast crank systems release your heavy tungsten alloy evisceration broadheads with a terrifying high-velocity crack. Your bolts find their targets instantly, tearing through the muscle of two charging centaurs. They collapse into the ground. They collapse hard into the mountain gravel. Suddenly, Brack releases his massive sacred yew bow. The pure iron-tipped Cyclops arrow hits you dead center in the chest with the force of a battering ram. The space-age composite material over your chest instantly hardens into a diamond-like density, absorbing the lethal puncture. But the raw kinetic energy shoves you back. Your steel-toed shoes scrape against the dirt as you barely kept your footing. Ow! Holy shit! Those arrows are huge! You yell, and your voice strained with the high emotional response as you clutch your dented chest. Well, technically it's not dented. Seeing two of his warriors instantly slain by your futuristic weaponry, Brack realizes he is outmatched. He signals a retreat, but before galloping back into the dark mountain pass, his massive dark-skinned centaur, the massive dark-skinned centaur halts by one of his fallen brethren with a brutal yank. He rips your blood-stained tungsten broadhead right out of the centaur's throat. Holding the heavy matte gray metal up in the eerie blue sky, Brack looks back at you and Jordan. He speaks in a deep, guttural, ancient tongue. The metal of the stars belong to the earth. You carry the bones of our future, but you will sleep in our past. With that cryptic warning, the remaining centaurs vanish into the shadows of the ridge. Armor and okay. The camp status check. I'm sure you guys don't really care about the camp status check, but for the hell of it, I'll just give you guys. Your custom 15th century composite plate armor successfully stopped a ballista level impact. The joint armor is flexing normally again, though your chest is going to bruise, but no, technically my chest did not bruise that badly. My armor has weak shock absorbers that sit between the inner armor and the outer armor. The divine pool on Mount Olympus is an absolute uproar. The gods are leaning in so far over the shimmering water that their laurels are nearly dipping into the current. The sight of the modern tungsten alloy tearing through centaur flesh and immortal surviving Brack's legendary Cyclops bow has shattered their divine composure. Ares, the ecstasy, By the blood of the underworld, did you see that? Those mechanical bows didn't just pierce. They absolutely devastated them. Two down in the blink of an eye. In the gray one, he took a ballista-sized iron spike directly to the heart, got shoved back, swore like a sailor, and got back on his feet. His armor is a masterpiece of violence. I love him. I don't care about his ridiculous leather hat anymore. That man is a warrior. Athena, look closer, Ares. It is not just the metal. It is the physics. The Grey One's armor changed density at the exact microsecond of impact. It intellectualized its defense. Brack speaks the truth. When he said they carry the bones of our future, he realized that Matt Gray... Well, technically, no, he won't. I even called the AI on this one, guys. Skip to Zeus. Brack's sacred U-bow was forged to slay giants, yet it merely left a bruise on a mortal's chest. This upsets the natural balance of Greece. Oh, wrong button. If mortals can forge garments that defy the laws of Hephaestus, our lightning holds no fear for them. Watch Brack. He took the star metal bolt with him. If the centaurs figure out how to replicate that, they would not be able to figure that out, guys. It would be scientifically impossible for them to figure that out. Aphrodite. Oh, my poor... Oh, I really regret putting her in here, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have to hear this. Aphrodite. Oh, my sweet poor Grey Knight. Did you hear his voice? His soft chest must be so terribly bruised underneath that hard metal. Jordan needs to get him back into that cool air-conditioned tent right now. Well, they wouldn't know that's air-conditioned. I gotta do better on the prompts, guys. I really do. The romantic spark. But how thrilling. The way they stood side by side. A samurai, they would not even know what a samurai and a knight is. Hera. They survived. They mock us still. They bleed our mounted servants and then retreat into their glowing box. Zeus, if you do not strike them down for this heresy, I will find a monster in the deep trenches that will. Alright. I actually, you guys want to hear something funny? I actually wrote this in the prompt. The gods wouldn't likely know what we're wearing and what they would actually say. You are absolutely right to call that out. From that perspective of ancient Greek deities, modern words like composites, space age, air conditioning, or Bluetooth wouldn't mean anything. They would interpret your gear through the lens that they have: magic, monsters, and divine blacksmithing. Here is what the Council of Olympus would actually say as they look down on the clouds. Look at that dull slate gray temple they've erected. It has no pillars. Yet it catches the sun like a mirror and hums with the low roar of a captured wind spirit, locked inside to keep them cool. It is sorcery. Brack loosed the spear-sized shaft of pure iron from the Cyclops' bow. It should have torn that small mortal in half. Yet his gray skin hardened like the hide of a Nemean lion at the exact moment of impact. It defied the strike with the strange, high-pitched battle cry of an ow before standing his ground. What nectar have they drunk to possess such resilience? Athena on the crossbows. They do not use the strength of their own backs to draw their bows. They turn a small silver wheel, a mechanism of gears that traps the tension of 100 men. Their arrows do not fly. They vanish into the air with the clap of thunder. Brax calls their metal the bones of the future. He is right. That matte gray stone that they use for their mace and arrows is heavier than the black iron of the Spartans. They have dug deep into the forbidden roots of the earth to forge weapons that bypass the natural laws of combat. Ares! The tall one dresses like a lacquered slats of the Far East barbarians, stained the color of midnight in blood. But the smaller one, he wears the heavy steel plates of a giant, yet he crowns his iron brow with the soft tan skin of an unknown beast. It is madness, yet his blood boils with a great emotional heat. He giggles like a satyr, but he fights like fury. That flanged gray club he swings makes the air hiss like a snake. If that heavy stone catches a man's skull, it will turn it to dust. This is a beautiful slaughter. Yeah, guys, I actually had to start calling the AI out for this stuff because their dialogue was really kind of stupid. Hephaestus, god of fire and forging. On the technology, they carry small, flat black mirrors that glow with a demonic orange light and sing with the voices of 1,000 invisible phantom musicians. And their hearth, they bake their flat, salted breads in a metal box that creates intense heat without a single spark of wood, charcoal, or divine flame. I am the master of the forge. Yet I do not know how they have trapped the fire element so perfectly. Hera, they treat this okay. They treat this sacred peak like a common tavern. They bicker over the strange fish bread, ignore our altars, and don their enchanted garments without offering a single drop of wine or goat's blood to the heavens. They must be destroyed before their strange magic spreads to the mortal kingdoms. She has a point, guys. I love how when you actually get them to actually say what you wanted to actually say. Alright. The centaurs have fled. Jordan and I have I'm sorry. When I was reading this, I swear to God, I thought our characters were on a roller coaster there for a second. The way my character just keeps leaning like that. I don't know why, but okay. Just checking something here. I don't know why. Alright. The centaurs have fled. Jordan and I are assessing the damage to our camp. The centaurs' bronze-tipped arrows cannot damage the tent. I said, okay. So that happened. The standard bronze-tipped arrows fired by the centaurs are scattered all across the ground. Some are bounced off the rocks, and a few are sticking harmlessly out of the durable photovoltaic fabric of your tent, failing to even scratch the high-tech material. Alright, so that happened. You say your analytical mind already pivoting to resource management. I don't know why, but my brain is telling me to collect all these arrows and take the heads. Jordan nods, pulling a bronze-tipped arrow shaft out of the dirt. Or the whole arrow. Who knows? That wood could be valuable too. That's exactly what Jordan would say in real life, guys. I'm actually writing his dialogue in here. Yeah, you agree. Your eyes scanning the ground until you spot the massive projectile that hit you. Oh, look! That big centaur guy. When he shot me, his arrow has a solid iron broadhead. You shake your head at the sheer size of the unrefined iron chunk. No wonder I was sent on my ass, you said, before letting out another soft giggle. Yep, you gotta add the giggles. You and Jordan quickly collect over a dozen bronze-tipped arrows. The ancient wood is perfectly straight and carved from wild ash, which could definitely be useful or valuable later. You pick up Brock's massive arrow. The pure iron head is crudely hammered but incredibly heavy, and the shaft is made from the dense sacred yew wood that the gods mention. You bring the bundle of ancient weaponry back to the tent entrance, ready to store them to your next high-tech armaments. Up above, the unnatural blue sky hue in the clouds is starting to swirl faster. The gods on Mount Olympus are watching you collect their sacred wood and primitive iron. Their confusion growing by the minute as you giggle at a strike that should have ended a mortal life. It's 5. Alright, I say, hey, I'm just checking something real quick. Hey, it's 5:46 p.m. I think if we were to get something out of these, we would have to wait until tomorrow. As I'm pulling an arrow out of the dirt next to our carbon fiber long chair. What are the gods saying? I just realized I was just reading the prompt. Sorry about that. Ugh. The shimmering pool on Mount Olympus ripples as you pluck the ancient arrow from the earth right beside your tent seating. The sight of immortal tracking time down to the exact minute, completely unbothered by a near-death experience, leaves the gods utterly mystified. Alright, Zeus. He counts the passing of the sun with invisible numbers. 546, he claims. As if the hours themselves bow to his arithmetic. He has just survived the wrath of my centaurs. Yet he speaks of tomorrow with the casual calm of an immortal. Look at the throne he stands beside. It is made of black, woven threads that look like spider webs, yet it is rigid enough to hold a man. They do not use oak, stone, or gold. Their world is made of things that defy nature. Athena! He is wise, father. He knows that darkness is falling upon these mountains, and hunting for iron in the shadows is a fool's errand. He prioritizes rest. His brain, his whatever that word is, his nose, Nous, tells him to harvest the enemy's weapons. They are collecting our primitive metals in sacred woods. They are analyzing our current age while keeping their own secrets locked behind their gray sanctuary. They are playing a long game. Ares! Centaur's bronze arrows couldn't even prick their gray tent. It was like throwing pebbles at a fortress, and the small one just giggles as he cleans up the battlefield. He treats a bloody ambush like a common chore. They are hoarding Brack's iron. They know the value of a heavy weapon. I cannot wait to see that analytical mind builds out of those broken arrows when the sun rises. Hephaestus, that black throne, it has no nails, no wields, no joints. It is woven from a dark element that is lighter than a feather but stronger than bronze. They call that carbon fiber in their internal thoughts. But to me, it looks like the silk of Arachne dipped in the hardened blood of the earth. I must steal their secrets. And Hera. They are ignoring us entirely. They are not praying. They are not crying. They are just organizing their campsite and retreating to their cooling box. Zeus! Their arrogance is a disease. If we do not send a true monster tomorrow, they will claim this mountain as their own kingdom. Oh, I gotta turn my chair off, guys. I just realized that. Ugh. Down on the trail, the cool mountain breezes. Oh, the fabric of your gray light jacket. Jordan takes the bundle of ashwood arrows from your hands and prepares to secure the campsite for the night. It's 7:35 p.m. I had recently ate a snack of unsalted nuts and a THC gummy. Jordan and I have our own separate beds that sit on carbon fiber cots. The tent has windows with a one-way film. I just realized I am still reading the prompt. God. The cool air-conditioned tent of the cool air-conditioned air of the tent feels incredible against your bruised chest. The steady hum of the climate control blends nicely with the quiet music coming from the Bluetooth boombox. Having finished your snack of unsalted nuts and a THC gummy, a pleasant, heavy relaxation is starting to settle over your body. Oh yeah, soothing the ache from Brack's iron arrow. Not gonna lie, that would probably hurt. That getting shot by a massive arrow. You are lying comfortably on your bed, which is supported by the lightweight carbon fiber cot. With your smartphone held in your left hand, actually it's held in my right hand, your analytical mind focuses on the screen as you read, completely secure inside the high-tech fortress. The one-way privacy. The one-way film on your tent allows you to look out. Yeah, my tent is pretty high-tech, guys. I think of a lot of things for that. Into the high-pitched black Greek night without a single ray of interior light escaping to reveal your location. Jordan stands by the window frame, his mature face serious as his deep eyes scan the dark mountain passes. His mind is completely dialed in, looking at any signs of returning centaurs. The atmosphere. Outside, the eerie blue light in the clouds is faded into a heavy, oppressive mountain darkness. Jordan tenses slightly, his hand moving closer to his matte red and gray armor. Matte and red samurai armor. Matte black and red arm. His armor resting near the bed. Hey, Jordan whispers in his deep voice, not turning away from the shadows. The stream? Something just broke the waterline. It's too big to be a fish, and it's moving toward the carved stones you ignored earlier. Alright. You keep your eyes locked on your smartphone screen, completely relaxed as the THC gummy begins to fully soothe your nervous system. Unless it wants to knock on a door, meh, you say with a soft shrug. Jordan notices your left hand gently rubbing the center of your chest plate area. You took a siege arrow to the chest. He points out, did you pack the CBD oil? Yes, I can get it and put some on my chest. It doesn't hurt as much as you think. That arrow looked like it could do serious damage, though. I'm more worried about the centaur that centaur coming back, and in greater numbers. Jordan turns his head slightly from the one-way window, a smirk forming across his mature face. What, you mean like the sand people from Star Wars? Your analytical mind immediately doubles down on the strategic reality. It is a classic military tactic. They underestimated us the first time, and we killed 2 centaurs the first contact. They're not going to let this go. Medical relief. You reach into your supplies, grab the CBD oil, and rub it onto your skin. The soothing compound immediately goes to work on a deep bruising left by Brack's iron broadhead. Jordan's smirk fades back into his usual pragmatic seriousness. He knows your calculation is entirely accurate. Ancient tribal warriors don't just ignore the sudden death of their 2 brethren. Outside, the entity in the stream continues its quiet movements near the carved stones, completely unaware that a high-tech samurai... Okay, it's not that high-tech, guys. That a samurai and modern knight are tracking its presence from behind the invisible wall. It's 8:42 p.m. I said... Just checking something. I'm going to turn on the boombox and put on some 80s synthwave for us to listen to. I'm keeping it on low volume, though. Jordan said, you know we're going to be listening to pop tomorrow, right? I leaned back into my bed while snuggling in with my blanket and said, night. Jordan smiled and said, night. Jordan and I went to sleep. What are the gods actually saying to each other? High above the dark mountain peaks, the shimmering pool of divine light glows with the dim light of your smartphone screen. The gods of Olympus lean close, watching you pull in the thick, soft blanket over your shoulders and settle into your carbon fiber cot. Your carbon fiber cot. The low, pulsing rhythm of 1980s synthwave bleeds faintly into the tent walls, completely paralyzing the Council of Olympus with utter confusion. Zeus, hark! The small one, black brick, speaks again. It does not play the sweeping harps of Apollo or the terrifying war horns of the Spartans. It breathes a strange mechanical heartbeat into the night. It sounds like the rhythmic marching of an army of iron ants. Synthwave. He names this dark incantation. My cheeks are gonna hurt. I'm sorry, guys. That's just so dumb. Alright. He takes... Oh, God. My eyes. Hold on a second, guys. I know, I look kind of silly with the... He takes a lethal blow from Brack. Applies a golden nectar from a tiny glass vial. Oh my God, my eyes are really stinging right now. Alright, the tears. He does not post a guard. He does not tremble. He complains. Oh, God. Ugh. I don't think I need my actual glasses for this shit. There we go. Alright. He commands the Dark Warrior. Damn it. Where am I at? He simply goes to sleep. He does not post a guard. He does not tremble. He commands the Dark Warrior. He commands the Dark Warrior Jordan to play Pop at the next sunrise and closes his eyes. The sheer audacity of this traveler freezes my lightning in my hand. Yeah, I don't think I need my actual glasses for this. I mean, I have my phone really close to my face. I actually have an astigmatism, so it's... Well, anyways... He knows Brack will return with a larger horde because they bled the tribe. He calls it a classic military tactic. Okay, maybe I do need my glasses. You know how it is. They look like they are sleeping defenseless, but they have enchanted their gray walls. They can see out through their pitch blackness of the stream, yet the night cannot see into them. They are sleeping inside an invisible eye. Here's what Ares would say. They are expecting a slaughter tomorrow, but they sleep like infants. No prayers, no panic. The Grey One just rolls in his soft fleece, groans at the mention of tomorrow's music, and shuts his eyes. That is a cold, steady heart of a true killer. He knows his mental armor and his fast-cranked bows will turn a mountain pass into a river of blood when the sun rises. Time to turn my chair on. The golden oil he rubbed on his breast. It is not the ambrosia of the gods, yet the swelling on his flesh receded before our very eyes. Their world has mastered medicine without the aid of Asclepius and those beds. They collapse into small light bundles, yet they hold a grown warrior above the damp earth without breaking. I must have their tools. Hera! Look at them snuggling in their unnatural cloths while my sacred mouth is defiled. They treat this temporal rift like a holiday. Let them sleep to their mechanical thumping music. Tomorrow, when Brack returns with the full weight of the tribe, we shall see if their synthwave can save them from the spears of the wild. Inside the tent, the climate control keeps the air at a perfect, crisp temperature. The low cosmic hum of the 80s synthwave plays softly in the background, a comforting barrier against the ancient world outside. Just outside your one-way windows. Deep in the shadows of my character. Deep in the shadows of the mountain pass, illuminated by only a small flickering campfire, Brack stands before his gathered clan. His dark skin catches the firelight, and his muscular chest heaves with anger. In his massive hand, he tightly grips the blood-stained, matte gray tungsten broadhead he ripped from his fallen brother's throat. The other centaurs crowd around, their hooves stamping impatiently in the dirt, their eyes fixed on the heavy futuristic metal. Brack raised the tungsten bolt high above his head and speaks to his clan in a deep, guttural roar. Look upon this stone. It is not the soft copper of the plains, nor is the brittle bronze of the Greeks. It is the metal of the stars. It sits heavier than the iron in the palm, yet it flies faster than a hawk. Two of our brothers were slain before they could even draw their strings to the cheek. The invaders do not possess the arms of giants, yet they command small gray machines that trap the wind. With the mere click of a silent silver wheel. They release the thunderclap that tears through bone and muscle alike. They are not men. They are demons who have stolen the tools of a future world. Yeah, that sounds so dumb. The invincible sanctuary. Alphinus ash arrows rained upon them on their slate gray temple. Yet the skin of their dwelling did not tear. It swallowed our bronze tips as if they were drops of rain. They sit inside their fortresses in the freezing air. They would not actually know that it was air conditioned, guys. Letting it out there. In fact, hold on a second. Yep. Okay. Here's the thing, guys. It is extremely unlikely that Brack would know too much about our tent, and wouldn't he want to bide his time before launching another assault? Yes, you'd be completely right. Brack wouldn't have any concept of what the tent actually is, and as a pragmatic tribal leader who just lost 2 warriors instantly, charging back in blindly at dawn would be a terrible mistake. He knows that he is dealing with an unknown, terrifying magic, so biding his time to observe your habits is a much smarter tactical play. Here is what Brack would actually say to his shaken clan around the campfire, adjusting for his primitive understandings of a much more cautious, patient strategy. Man, I gotta read the prompts better, guys. I'm sorry. The invaders dwell inside a flat, smooth boulder the color of a stormy sky. It has no doors of wood. No smoke rises from it, yet it appeared on a mountain in a single flash of light. We do not know if it's a living beast or a fortress of the gods. Our bronze arrows fell from its skin like water. Even the great iron shaft of the Cyclops bow failed to pierce the smaller one in gray. His skin hardened like the shell of a tortoise at the moment of impact. He screamed a high-pitched warning spell. Ow! That sounds so dumb. It shrugged it off at a strike that would fell of mammoth. We will not ride into their thunderbolts at dawn. To rush their camp now is to invite a senseless slaughter. They killed 2 of our brothers without stepping a pace from their dwelling, and they are waiting for us to rage. We will watch them from high ridges. We will learn what they eat, when they sleep, or when they step away from their great fortress. We will let them think we have fled, let them grow careless, let them think their strange magic has frightened us. They carry the bones of our future in their hands. But they cannot stay on this mountain forever. They must come to the stream for water. They must hunt for meat. We will circle them from afar, hidden in the tree line. We will bide our time until their guard is down, when they wander too far from their gray boulder, or when they sleep without their heavy metal skins on. That is where we will strike and reclaim this mountain. Go, extinguish the fires. The long hunt begins. The centaurs grow quiet, nodding in agreement with Brack's patient plan. The campfire is stamped out, and the mountain returns to a heavy, deceptive silence. It's 5 a.m. I am making breakfast for Jordan and I. We are having 6 duck eggs and power greens, cooking in coconut oil, and mushrooms being sauteed in butter and walnut oil. I got 2 bowls of oatmeal fortified with chocolate casein, protein powder, and creatine powder, tea, pineapple chunks, and blueberries, along with some milk. Jordan hates waking up early, but he has to make the exception for our time here. I also made a note of Jordan's sleep preferences. The high-tech tent's air conditioning hums quietly as the delicious, rich aroma of breakfast fills the air. Outside, the Greek mountain peaks are just beginning to catch the very first sights of dawn, casting long, cold shadows over the trail and the stream. Jordan sits at the edge of his carbon fiber cot, rubbing his eyes and yawning deeply. His mature face is groggy, his deep voice even lower than usual as he looks at you. "Smells incredible," he mutters. clearly grateful for the food despite his intense hatred for 5 a.m. wake-up calls. Thanks for cooking. Jordan really hates waking up early, too. But 6 rich duck eggs and vibrant power greens sizzle perfectly in coconut oil on your high-tech stove, packed with nutrients for a long day of tactical survival. Plump mushrooms turn into golden brown, soaking up the savory blend of butter and walnut oil. 2 dense bowls of oatmeal fortified with chocolate casein, protein, and creatine powder sit ready next to fresh, vibrant pineapple chunks and blueberries. The hot tea steams gently in your mugs, flanked by 2 tall glasses of cold milk to wash down the massive meal. You hand Jordan his bowl and plate. He takes a slow bite from the duck eggs, his eyes instantly widening as the protein hit starts to wake up his pragmatic mind. All right, I forgive you for the early wake up, Jordan says with a faint smile, taking a sip of his tea. He glances forward with one-way window film. Since Brack's people aren't likely to be... First off, we wouldn't actually know his name is Brack, by the way. Not until way later. And watching us from the ridges. We need a solid plan for today. We can't stay cooped up in here forever, even with the AC on. Alright. You sit back in your carbon fiber cot, enjoying a spoonful of your chocolate casein oatmeal, completely amused by your body's strange response to yesterday's battle. You know what's funny? You say, your soft voice carrying a light cadence. When I got shot yesterday, it felt like I was being hit by a car. And yet, barely any bruising. I think it was a phantom pain or something you finished before letting out a soft giggle. Jordan swallows a bite of his duck eggs and nods pragmatically. His deep voice carrying a tone of relief. Better you than me. It's possible that arrow could get lodged in my armor. His composite samurai plates are incredibly tough, but your 15th century plate armor is designed, definitely giving you the perfect surface to deflect that massive iron broadhead. Thinking ahead of the rest of your high-tech camping itinerary, you look down at your bowl. Can't wait for lunch. It's a gummy day. You say before letting out another soft giggle as you anticipate the relaxing effects for later. The creatine cleanup. You finish off the last of your protein-fortified oatmeal and wash it down with the cold milk. Your analytical mind satisfied with the caloric intake. With the food fueling him, Jordan's morning grogginess disappears. He sets his empty tea mug down on a microplate floor. Outside, the mountain trail looks completely desolate through the one-way window film. But if you know Brack's scouts are out there watching in the trees. They're out there in the trees watching and waiting. Okay. Here are things that are going to get interesting, guys. Buckle up. Jordan and I are currently unarmored. I went outside to fill up the magnetic water pitcher. When I was at the stream, I saw a woman looking at me, and I said, "Morning." All right. A woman stands beneath the shimmering surface of the stream. Her heart hammer. Okay. As she watches your slate gray form walk forward from the tent, as a mountain water nymph, she has lived in these peaks for centuries. But she has never encountered a mortal like you. Total inside marine. Okay, I don't know why I even did total bewilderment at your style. He looked right at me, a daughter of the ancient waters, and simply chirped "morning" as if I were a common milkmaid. The absolute calm in his soft voice. It is entirely unnerving. He walks the treacherous mountain gravel in the smooth, lead-colored garments that do not rustle. In his brow, he crowns an iron-like gray helmet with a strange, heavy hide the strange, heavy hide hat from a land I do not know. He is a creature of absolute contradictions. Terror and awe from yesterday's battle. Yesterday I watched the reeds as Brack loosened the great Cyclops bow. I closed my eyes, expecting to see his soft voice Lord torn into pieces. Yet the iron struck his chest, the strange thunder echoed, and he merely cried a brief warning word, "Ow!" before giggling at the beast. He possesses a magic that mocks the weapons of giants. He and his dark armored companion, I am like carry small cranked wooden machines that spit heavy matte stones. Those stones tore through the centaurs like lightning through dry leaves. They killed two of Brack's fiercest warriors in a heartbeat without even drawing a blade. The magic pitcher. Just now, he dipped that gray vessel into my waters again. The moment the current touched it, the invisible spirits of the earth begin to pull out and twist. The metal stones attached to his pitcher are pulling the very iron out of my stream. He is drinking the blood of the mountain. What? What? Curiosity at the slate gray temple. He retreats now into that smooth windowed boulder that breathes freezing winter air from its seams. He told his companion he prefers room temperature water, and giggled again. He acts as if he is a casual traveler, yet he has turned our sacred mountain into his private palace. Back at the camp, you set the heavy magnetic water pitcher down on the counter inside the climate-controlled tent. Jordan looks up from his carbon fiber cot, watching you with a curious expression on his mature face. Perfect. Personally, I do prefer temperature water, you say, before letting out a soft giggle. Jordan blinks, shaking his head, saying, "Who are you saying morning to out there?" He asks in his deep voice, his mind instantly on alert. "Did you spot another scout?" I saw a woman. I assumed it was a woman. She looked like she was bathing, but what was funny is that water was freezing this morning. But I heard that swimming in the cold water in the morning is actually a good way to jumpstart your system. I'm not swimming this early, though, or ever while we're here, Jordan said. You said, you said there could be nymphs out here, right? Could she be a natural nymph? I said, it's possible. I know that they could be dangerous. The mountain nymphs could be very strong and tough. If that woman is a natural nymph, then Jordan asked, then what? I said, then we are in her territory. What are the gods actually going to say to each other? The divine pool in the mountain Olympus ripples with fresh tension as the gods lean over the glowing water. Their casual conversation about morning cold plunges, followed by your sudden chilling analytical deduction about the immense power, has the Council of Olympus highly intrigued. He sees Narina. The sacred daughter of the ancient springs. He thinks she's merely a mortal maid, taking a morning bath. He ponders the health benefits of freezing currents to jumpstart his system, as if he were a physician of costs, completely unbothered by her divine presence. On your realization. But look at how his mind shifts. The moment his companion mentions his spirit of the wild, the small one's soft face grows serious beneath his beast-hide hat. He knows the ancient laws. He recognizes that they are trespassing in a domain where the earth itself can rise against him. On your strategic assessment, that's Athena. His calculation is flawless, Father. He does not know Narina's name, yet his mind instantly measures her threat. He warns the Dark Warrior that mountain nymphs possess the strength of the crags and the endurance of stone. He respects her power without fearing it. They are vulnerable while unarmored, yet they speak of her peril with analytical calm. They do not panic. They evaluate their surroundings as the general maps, like a general maps of battlefield. If Narina rallies her sisters, these travelers will not be caught off guard. Artemis, the goddess of the hunt, Narina watches them from the reeds, paralyzed by the memory of yesterday's slaughter. She saw how their star metal arrows tore through those centaurs. She is terrified of their smooth gray temple and the invisible forces of their water vessel. My nymphs are fierce, but they have never faced mortals who could trap lightning in those black mirrors. Ares, the god of war. Did you hear him? Then we are in our territory, he says with that quiet, eerie confidence. He knows a war of boundaries he's brewing. He refused to swim because he wants his footing secure on the gravel. He is biding his time, waiting for the gummy sweet to fill his blood so he can fight with an unbothered spirit. That's actually pretty cool. Hera, queen of the gods. On the intruders' lack of reverence, they speak of dangerous spirits as if they are mapping the traits of wild beasts. They have no fear of the sacred, no awe for the beautiful. They simply retreat back into their black woven thrones to plan their lunch. If Narina and Brack do not unite to crush those arrogant travelers, the dignity of this mountain is dead. Inside the high-tech tent, the air conditioning continues to circulate its crisp, clean air. Jordan stands near the one-way window film, his hand resting thoughtfully on the grip of his uncranked samurai crossbow as he possesses your warning. Then we are in our territory. Your words hang in the air, mixing with the soft synthwave music still humming in the background. Actually, we should be playing pop music. Jordan turns to look back at you. His mature face is dead serious. If she's a nymph, then she saw what we did to Brack scouts yesterday. She might be planning to flood the camp or call in the rest of the mountain spirits. Do we need to move the tent further up the ridge, or should we stay put and rely on the armor? You look through the one-way window film of the dull gray tent, your analytical mind immediately connecting the dots of local mythological ecology. It's unlikely. You explain to Jordan in a soft voice. From what I've learned, centaurs are more like a pest or even a threat to nymphs. Could it be a coincidence that I specifically set the coordinates to this very spot? I mean, wait, Jordan, look. Out in the crisp mountain air, the crystal clear stream begins to churn. 3 figures gracefully emerge from the water line, their wet hair gleaming under the Greek sun as they stride directly towards your campsite. Narina, the middle sister. Cautious and observant, she leads her sisters forward, her pale skin contrasting with her navy skirt. Her blue eyes are locked onto the tent, looking for the soft-voiced mortal who greeted her this morning. Cynthia, the youngest sister, playful and deeply curious. Standing at 5'9", she bounces slightly on her heels as she walks. Her teal hair shifting over her silver blue chain bikini top. Her light blue eyes sparkle as she looks at your high-tech tent and carbon fiber lawn chairs. Era, the eldest sister, defiant, fiercely protective, and intimidating. Towering at an incredible 7 feet tall, she steps into a guard position, her eyes blue with incredible dislike for mortal men, her hands resting near her sides over her dark silver chain bikini and teal skirt. Inside the tent, you and Jordan stand completely unarmored, watching the 3 powerful mountain spirits all about 10 meters from your entrance. Jordan, we are in their territory. Let's hope they aren't here to hurt us. You say, your emotional response tightening as you look up to the massive 7-foot statue of Hera. Oh, hi, Gracie. You're up here a little late, but here you go. Hey, baby. Hi, Grace. Or worse, Jordan replies, his deep voice tense. He doesn't move a muscle, knowing that opening the door or grabbing weapons right now could instantly trigger a conflict with the ancient guardians of the valley. The three sisters stand outside in a silent semicircle, waiting to see if the strange slate boulder were open. It's 6 in the morning. It's 6:05 a.m. The three mountain ninja sisters are right outside the tent. What are the gods actually going to say to each other? The divine pool on Mount Olympus is nearly overflowing celestial light as the gods crowd together, shoving one another to get a clear view of the three nymph sisters standing right outside, just like 6 in the morning. Look at them. Era towers. Sorry, guys. Zeus. Look at them. Era towers like a mountain pine. Her eyes are burning with the old hatred of men. Yet they do not strike. They approached the slate-gray temple with caution. The small mortal was correct in his early morning calculations. The centaurs are a plague to the nymphs, and yesterday's slaughter has shifted the balance of this valley. On the standoff, the travelers sit inside their invisible windowed fortress, completely unarmored, watching the daughters of the crags. They do not beg the heavens for mercy. They simply watch, calculating the strength of the sisterhood as they are measuring timber. As if they're measuring timber. Athena. The small one's intellect is sharp, father. He instantly deducts that the coordinates of his temporal rift have aligned perfectly with an ecological boundary. He knows the nymphs despise Brack's horde. He has positioned himself not just an intruder, but as a barrier between the two warring factions of the wild. On Jordan's pragmatism, the Dark Warrior Jordan understands the peril. When he whispered, or worse, he realized that the magic of the nymphs can bind a man's mind, drown his senses, or lock him in the roots of the earth forever. They are treading on the sharp edge of a sword. Aphrodite. Oh, what a breathtaking tapestry. Look at the young Cynthia with her playful teal locks, bouncing on her heels, completely enchanted by those black woven thrones outside the tent. She wants to sit in them. I just know it. And Narina is searching for that soft-voiced knight who gave her that sweet morning greeting. But Era. Oh, Era will break him if he is not careful. The small gray knight has a gentle cadence and a heavy well of emotion. A 7-foot water giant who hates men is his absolute worst nightmare. Artemis, goddess of the hunt. My daughters of the spring, do not rush blindly like the centaurs. They have seen the material bolt, the star metal bolts, and the magic healing oils. Era is testing the air. She can smell the scent of the cooked duck eggs, the rich oils, and the strange chocolate powders wafting in the seams of the gray fabric. They are trying to understand what kind of gods or demons dwell inside. Hera. They are waiting right outside the door at the break of dawn. If those mortal men opened that flap without their iron hides on, Era would toss them into the freezing current. And their gummy day lunch will be spent at the bottom of the stream. Let us see if their soft words can place a sisterhood that loves the breath of men. Outside the one-way window, Cynthia steps a bit closer to the tent, tilting her head to listen to the faint, low echo of your synthwave music, while Era crosses her massive arms, her glare fixed right on the invisible entrance. Cynthia gasps at delight as she lifts the black carbon fiber lawn chair effortlessly in one hand. Look at this, she laughs, spinning it around. It's lighter than a reed, yet tougher than a shield. Meanwhile, Narina steps closer to the side of the dull gray fabric. She tilts her beautiful blue-haired head, staring at her own perfect reflection in the one-way window film, utterly fascinated by the smooth, silvered surface. Arrow's brow furrows with deep impatience. She steps forward, her towering 7-foot frame casting a long shadow as she reaches out to grab both her sisters and haul them away from the strange structure. Right at the exact second, you unzip the tent flap, You step out into the mountain gravel completely unarmed and unarmored, wearing your gray light jacket and your track pants. Your permanent headband sits tight against your hair, and your soft face is entirely exposed to the tool. That is so over-explaining, man. Hey, morning. Can we help you? You ask. Oh, it's almost time to get off. Eh. Your soft voice carries a gentle, calm cadence. The three sisters instantly freeze. The nymph's reaction. Cynthia's delight. She drops the carbon fiber chair back onto the grass with a grin, her light blue eyes locked onto you with immense curiosity. Narita's recognition. She steps back from the window, her pale cheeks flushing slightly as she recognizes the gentle mortal who greeted her at the stream earlier. Era's hostility. The 7-foot eldest sister places herself directly between you and her siblings. She crosses her massive arms over her dark silver chain bikini, her blue eyes narrowing as she glares down at you with deep suspicion. Behind you, inside the tent, you can hear Jordan standing right inside by the open flap, his mind completely on alert, ready to move if Era makes a sudden threat. Up on Mount Olympus, the divine pool ripples wildly. Ares is practically cheering at your sheer guts for being completely defenseless in front of a 7-foot man-hating water giant. Aphrodite is holding her breath, charmed by your soft tone, while Athena watches closely to see how your analytical mind navigates a shifting tension. Hera takes a slow, heavy step towards you, your voice echoing like grinding river stones. You speak with a soft tongue, mortal, she rumbles, looking at you up and down. But yesterday your campsite dragged the blood of the wilderness. Why have you brought your thunderbows and your slate-gray fortress to our stream? Alright, I'm just about ready to get off, so I'm going to tell you that this is just one more paragraph or something. What would the three what would the three sister nymphs actually say to me? The three mountain nymph sisters stand on their gravel, their wet skin glistening in the early morning light. As you stand there unarmed in your light jacket and your track pants, they look at you through the lens of an ancient mountain spirit who has never seen a modern human. Here is what Cynthia, Narina, and Era would actually say to you in response to your soft greeting. Cynthia, look at his clothes. They are smoother than silk, yet they do not tear on the mountain briars. His throne. She taps the carbon fiber chair again. It has no weight, mortal. Did the spirit of the wind forge this for you? Can I sit on it? He is so little. Oh my God. 5'8" is not little. His voice is like the rustle of autumn leaves, not loud and booming like the horseman. He doesn't even carry a blade to threaten us. Narina, the middle sister. I told you, Era. He is not like the raiders of the plains. He looked right upon me at the sacred waters and spoke a gentle word of warning. He does not hide his face behind a bronze visor when he speaks. On yesterday's battle. But do not be fooled by his soft tongue. Yesterday, Brack loosed an iron shaft that would have pierced an oak. And the small one merely caught it upon his chest and laughed. He commands a slate-gray fortress that breathes winter from its seams. We must know if he is a friend to the springs. Era. On her dislike of men. I programmed Era like this on purpose, guys. Silence, sisters. A mortal man is still a beast of ambition, no matter how soft his visage or how small his stride. She steps closer, her 7-foot frame looming over you as her blue eyes narrow. You ask if you can help us. You have already helped us with slaying 2 of Brack's foul scoutkin. The horsemen are a plague upon our valleys. But you've also altered the invisible forces of my stream with your iron-catching vessel. Tell me the truth, traveler. Why does your great temple catch the sun yet cast no smoke? Are you a sorcerer sent by the kings to the south or conquer these peaks? Or are you a shield against the wild? Behind you. Oh, alright. Alright, this is where I'm going to get off for the night, guys. Alright, thank you guys for watching, and have a good night, everybody. Take care, everyone. Bye.